Employed Gamer here, formerly known as Unemployed Gamer. How's everybody doing today? Anyways, today I'm going to talk about my favorite Dreamcast games of all time. My top 10 to be exact. Actually, the Dreamcast, believe it or not, is actually one of my all-time favorite consoles out there. And to me, it was way ahead of its time. I mean, it was one of the first consoles that actually had a modem so you can actually go online. And it had a cool little memory card where you can actually use the memory card and play games, mini games with it, kind of like the Game Boy. It was really cool. But enough said, here are my favorite games for the Sega Dreamcast. Grab some popcorn, get some beer, whatever you guys want. And here we go. Number 10, Ready to Rumble. Ready to Rumble was my first Dreamcast game, and the first game I ever played actually. And I remember playing it the first time. I was in shock because it looked really good. I was totally like, oh, you know, and it blew me away. I couldn't believe it. The animation was great. The characters were funny. It was a great boxing game, to be honest with you. And this is the version you want. This is where it was born, because it did came out like in the 64, I remember, and other systems, but this is the one you really want. Another cool thing about this game, Michael Jackson was a playable character. I mean, it can't get any better than that. Let's get ready to rumble. Number 9, Soul Calibur. This is where Soul Calibur was born, on a console at least, because it did come out on the arcade, but it then got ported to the Dreamcast. And let me be very real with you, it was arcade perfect. It was like playing the arcade at your house. Everything was great about this game. You can actually show off the Dreamcast with this game and your friends would be like, wow, this is a damn good system, you know. That's how good this game was. Still one of my favorites, and still one of my favorites to show off whenever I want to show off the Dreamcast. It holds up really good. Number 8, Sonic Adventure. And we finally got a Sonic game in 3D that was actually really, really good. And it was a full game, because in the Saturn they had like little mini games in 3D, but that didn't count. This was the real deal right here. I remember my friend Henry brought it over and he said try out the first stage, and I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. Just like when you play Mario 64, you know, where you're just looking at it and you're just like with your mouth open. That's how awesome this was, especially when that well, you know, was after you or behind you, I think, on the bridge. The graphics were freaking amazing. It was fast as hell. This is the Sonic we wanted for many, many years. And finally, when it came out, I mean, honestly, I'm going to say to this day, it's probably the best one still out there, even after all these years. And honestly, when it came out, it was worth the wait. Greatest Sonic ever, in my opinion. Number 7, Power Stone 1 and 2. And the reason I'm doing both of them, because both of them are awesome as hell. Part 2 was probably better. If I'm not mistaken, part 2 improved on the graphics and on the music, and you can duke it out for up to 4 players. So technically you're playing with your friends, and kind of like it's Smash Brothers, you know. You grab stuff, you throw them, you kick butt, you know. It's a Capcom game too. You never go wrong with Capcom, and this is one of the best Dreamcast games out there. And this is one of my favorite fighting games, just because it's a real cool party game. And this is one of my favorites to play in multiplayer as well. Awesome. Number 6, Dead or Alive Part 2. Another arcade perfect game ported to the Dreamcast, and it was a beauty, honestly. Arcade perfect again, once again, this is the best part about the Dreamcast, you know, it was that powerful. And this one was awesome. I loved it. It had the graphics, the gameplay, the animations were great, and the fighting style was pretty awesome. And then the bouncing, never mind. This game was awesome. Let's just leave it that way. Whether you were dead or alive, it was a great game. Ha, what a dumb joke. Anyways, awesome. Number 5, Crazy Taxi. This game was definitely crazy, just like the title, and it was yet again another arcade perfect game. And I love this game a lot. It was actually pretty unique back in the day. You know, you had to pick up customers and take them to their destination. I guess today what we call the crazy Uber or crazy Lyft. Creak, 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 creak. Another bad joke. Anyways, great soundtrack. That was like my favorite part about this game. It was really good. It was actually badass. All right, I put up the volume. You know, if you're gonna play this game, the music is worth it. But other than that, I mean, I got nothing else to say about this game. But that is crazy, crazy, crazy. Number 4, Project Justice. And Project Justice was a 3D fighting game, but it was awesome. And it was made by Capcom. I mean, Capcom making the game is probably going to make it awesome already, automatically. And this is the Dreamcast version. The reason I'm saying that because it also came out on the arcade, of course. But then, of course, like every other Dreamcast game, it was flawless on it. This one was so much fun. I played this one for many, many hours with my friends. It was pretty unique. The characters were cool. The animation in your typical Capcom style, you know, it definitely hooked me. And it was hard to put down the controller. It was really cool. I think it's a great game. Very underrated as well. And one of the best on the Dreamcast for sure. For sure. Number 3, Jet Set Radio. And this game is amazing. And I know I've talked about the Xbox sequel. Well, this one was the original, duh. And this is where it was born, on the Dreamcast. So yes, this is a Dreamcast game. And the graphics, just look at the graphics. I mean, come on, the soundtrack. The mechanics were so good. It was one of the reasons to own a Dreamcast, which of course I love it. It's one of my favorites till this day. And little trivia, the anti-establishment theme was actually inspired by Fight Club. First rule of Jet Set Radio, never talk about Jet Set Radio. Yeah. Bad joke, but anyways, that's awesome. I mean, who doesn't love Fight Club, right? So to me, that was a great trivia. Anyways, great game. It's probably gonna inspire you to go on rollerblades and start tagging walls. You know, that happened to me, you know, and my friends. All right, maybe that last part I lied about, but it's still a great game, and it's still inspired by Fight Club. Enough said. Number 2, Shenmue. And I think I should put Shenmue Part 2 on there too, because these are one of my all-time favorite games on the Dreamcast. This action-adventure game, honestly, it's way ahead of its time, or it was, of course. It was one of the first open-world games where you can practically do whatever you want, talk to pretty much everybody in the town. You can practically do anything, and I mean anything. You know, there's a vending machine, you can buy stuff from it. There was an arcade, you can actually go in the arcade and play arcade games, where of course it was cool because it was Sega games, you know, the real actual Sega games. And the fighting mechanics, I mean, it was kind of like Virtual Fighter, but for its time, it was great, you know. The storyline was awesome. I was very, very hooked, you know, so I'm a big fan of Shenmue. This game, I heard people either love it or hate it. Obviously, I'm in the love part because I put it number 2 in my list. Shenmue kicks ass. I freaking love it. Love it. Number 1, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I almost sounded like the intro, huh? Anyways, I'm gonna take you for a ride. I'm gonna take you for a ride. Exactly. That song, every gamer, every fan of this game knew this song. And right now you're probably listening to the song and you're probably crying, aren't ya? Anyways, I know I am. Just kidding. A little bit I am. But yeah, this game, what can I say, is probably the greatest fighting game of all time, or one of the best at least. And yes, this game had it all. The graphics, it was chaotic. Look at all the characters. I mean, I think it was over 40, 50. I mean, I forget. And yes, I should have done my research, but I didn't, so fight me. Anyways, I'm excited for it. I'm excited. Anyways, this game had all the characters you can think of, even games from Resident Evil. Mega Man was in there. Yes, before Smash, he was actually in this game. And this game, we must have played it for hours and hours and hours. We actually played this version more than in the arcades, believe it or not. And later on, they came out on the PS2 and the Xbox. I actually have it on an Xbox, but honestly, the best version is actually the Dreamcast version. I mean, there's no other better game on the Dreamcast than this game, to be honest with you. And I think that's all I gotta say about this game. I mean, who hasn't played this game? The soundtrack, of course. I mean, I was just singing it in the beginning. And the specials were great. 3 characters. It was just amazing and chaotic. And excuse me, but I think I'm gonna go cry a little bit, because I'm remembering the good old days when I used to play this game with my brother and pretty much everybody that I know in my life. And I'm out of here. And I'm gonna take you for a ride. Dee-dee, dee-dee. I'm gonna take you for a ride. Hope you enjoyed my list of my top Sega Dreamcast games of all time, my top 10 to be exact. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. Tell me which is your favorite game. Put your top 3, your top 5, your 10, top 100 if you want. I know I'm missing a whole bunch in here, but these are the ones I owned at one point, or I borrowed from a friend, or I burned. Just don't tell Sega. It doesn't matter, right? Sega's not doing consoles anymore. Anyways, thank you for watching us once again. Remember, all you need is gaming. Get busy living or get busy dying. I really hope you choose the first option. But for now, I'm gonna take you for a ride. I'm gonna take you for a ride. I'm gonna take